next. Our goal for today is to share information with our prospective grantees about the application and the review process. We know that grant writing can be a daunting task, and so we want to make this as easy as possible. We love to make sure that you all have a great understanding of how easy it can be to complete this application and submit the application. And if you have any questions along the way, we'd love to be here to be able to help you in supporting that. All right, any questions so far? Great. So the funding opportunity. We know the early years of a child's life are the most critical for learning. They're the formative years where a child's brain is still developing, and when children are provided with high quality education during this stage of life, it can impact the trajectory of their lives. This is the key reason why the work each of you are doing is very vital to Greater New Haven children and to the community. This is also why we are very excited to be able to support this work in a number of different ways, including this grant opportunity. United Way of Greater New Haven was selected through, a competitive RFP process to lead the Early Childhood Expansion and Enhancement Project with the City of New Haven. This funding will allow United Way to provide grants over the next 3 years to license childcare programs in New Haven, both family and group childcare homes, as well as center-based programs. This first grant opportunity will focus on quality improvements and program enhancements. And awards will be made for the 2024 calendar year. Family and group childcare homes can apply for anywhere between $1,000 and $15,000, and childcare centers will be able to apply for awards between $5,000 and $25,000. Okay. And our funding timeline. So you all are here because our grant is now open. It opened on this past Monday. The English application is now available. However, we are working on a Spanish version, and that version should be available this coming Monday, November 13th. We are at this info session today, and then we will also be hosting office hours for anyone that is interested in applying for this grant opportunity on Tuesday, November 14th. We will have 2 sessions, one at 2 p.m. and another at 6:30 p.m. You do not need to attend both. Choose one that might fit your schedule best, and please join us. Now, the application submission deadline for English applications will be Monday, December 4th at 4 p.m. And we've extended the deadline for our Spanish submissions to be Friday, December 8th. Awards will be announced in early January 2024. All right, now, who's eligible to apply for this grant? Programs must be located in New Haven. They must be a licensed family child care home, a licensed group child care home, or a licensed child care center. These programs must serve children who live in New Haven, and at least 50% of your enrollment must be New Haven residents. Now, priority will be given to programs in which at least 50% of the children you serve are low income as evidenced by eligibility based on family income for Care for Kids, school readiness, Head Start, early Head Start, CDC funding slots, SNAP, or TANF. Now, what can these funds be used for? How can these funds enhance my program? Possible areas for funding include, but are definitely not limited to, materials that would enhance indoor and outdoor, any supplies that you would need, equipment or furniture, new or upgraded indoor and outdoor furniture and equipment, family engagement or parent education activities, health and safety upgrades, licensing compliance, any outreach or marketing materials that you would need for specific populations, translation services. If you'd like to recognize your staff, show them that you appreciate them, their meal or food services, these are all options that you have to apply for. If you're thinking of projects that would enhance your program and it's not listed here, we still encourage you to please apply. Now, what can I not use these funds for? These funds will not be able to be used for workforce development, and that's including staff training or any professional development. Our partners at Circle have an opportunity that is with an application that is open now for any workforce development projects or proposals that you might have. And we encourage you to visit their website under community grants and apply for their opportunity. Now, we have also been, we will be leading, an expansion process, and we will have an application that's forthcoming in 2024. But LISC does have an application that is now open, and we strongly encourage you to visit the LISC opportunity and apply for that funding. We definitely want to see our programs expand in New Haven and are hoping to be able to partner with other organizations in the future. So please stay tuned for more opportunities that will become available in early 2024. And so now, what does it look like to apply for this opportunity? So here on your screen, you'll see some of the information that we are asking for with our applicants, or with our application, And what I will do is walk you through what it looks like to apply for this funding opportunity. So I'm going to stop sharing for a moment and share another screen. Okay, so if you were to visit our website, the United Way of Greater New Haven's website, it's uwgnh.org/ECE grants. You will scroll down and you will see this button here, grant application. This button will bring you to this application. And so here we are going to submit a test application for our test daycare. So you would include your program information, your contact information, You would include the organization's address. If the mailing address is different, then you would include that as well. And we have the same application for all of our providers to complete. And so you would choose the provider option that best suits you, whether you are a licensed family child care home, a licensed group child care home, or a licensed child care center. You would include your OEC license number. And here is a very important part. You need to make sure that you are at least serving at least 50% of your enrollment is children that are eligible, for Care for Kids, school readiness, Head Start, early Head Start, CDC, SNAP, or TANF. And so we would click yes here. Do at least 50% of the children served in your program live in New Haven? This is very important. You would click yes here. If you click no, it will not allow you to complete the application. You will receive an error message saying that you are ineligible to complete the application. We also ask, do you have a non-discrimination policy? Now, awardees will be required to submit a copy of their policy. So we would click yes here. Now you could save and resume later. If you save and resume later, you will receive an email that you will need to keep in order to go back and complete your application. At this point, we are going to click next. And now we'll provide a brief description of our program. We will answer how long has your program been in operation, and we will answer this in numbers of years. So I will say 5 years here. What is your license program capacity? We'll say 8 children. How many children do I currently serve? I currently serve 5 children. Do you offer evening, overnight, weekend care? And if so, please describe. So here you would enter your narrative, whether or not you offer these hours. I will say yes, and then test. You will complete this in greater detail than we're doing here with this test. Does your program have any distinguishing characteristics? Yes, we are multilingual. Have you ever received any special recognition? You can answer that. Is there any other important information you would like us to know about your program? If you have information that you would like us to know that has not been asked, we encourage you to please fill this in. We do not want to assume that those that are reviewing these applications will have all of this information, so we encourage you to include as much as possible. Here you can also save and resume later, and you will receive an email where you can click that email and come back to complete your application, or we will continue. And so I will click next. Now, in 1 or 2 sentences, I'll describe my program. It's the total amount that I'm asking for. I'm asking for $30,000. It is not going to let me ask for $30,000 because our max is $25,000. And so we will receive an error message here. So we're going to ask for $10,000 and continue. Describe in detail how you will spend the grant funds. How do you anticipate they will impact your program and enable you to enhance your program? Here we ask that you are as detailed as possible. What is the research or other evidence that supports this investment? We ask that you include as much information as possible regarding the evidence-based projects that you will be working on. This will allow our reviewers to understand the project in its entirety and ensure that we are supporting the most impactful projects. So here we will have to download the budget and demographics template. Let's see if it will allow me. I'll stop sharing for one moment. All right. And this is what our demographic and budget template looks like. So here we serve, I believe we said 5 children, and we are test daycare. So we are going to fill this in, and it's important that this total number of children served equals the same number throughout here. And so we see now that we serve 5 children, and that is 100%. Whether or not we serve Hispanic or non-Hispanic children, we will say 3 and 2. Now, if I were to say 1, I would receive an error message. We serve infant and toddlers. No preschool. Number of children who live in New Haven. We will say 4 of our children live in New Haven. Children that are eligible for Care for Kids, School Readiness, Head Start, etc. We have 3 children whose family's language is other than English or who are immigrants. We say 2, and children with special needs, 1. And so the percentages are there for us. We have a sample budget here for providers to be able to see how to submit your budget here. So this should help guide you. And then again, we will be available to help you with that as well. So this is something that we would save, and then we would upload for our application. I'm going to stop sharing for a moment.
We can hear you.
You're on mute.
Thank you. Thank you for that. You would think I would learn by now. Okay, so I had to save the template, and then I went to choose file to upload the template. And so it's here, and now I will click next. And the final 2 questions are, one is an equity and inclusion question. How does your program prioritize serving underserved populations in New Haven, such as communities of color, low-income families, immigrant families, families whose primary language is other than English, families with transportation challenges, special needs children, and others? We would ask that you complete this in as much detail as possible and click next. And then our final question is a question regarding data tracking and reporting. If you receive this grant, will You will be required, to track and report on data such as how the grants were spent, the number of children and families served, participant demographics, and the impact of grant funding activities. Do you commit to providing this data? This is a question we would need you to submit, to click yes on, and then you would submit your form. All right, I'll stop sharing for a moment and we'll be back to our slide. All right, can you all hear me? Yes, okay, thank you. All right, and so the selection process for our applications, our scoring rubric includes priority populations and services. So programs that provide services to low-income infant toddler care, night and weekend offerings, non-English speaking families, immigrants, special needs populations, you will receive up to 50 points for that section of your application. We will also look at your track record. So if you have been in operation for several years, you will receive up to 20 points for that. And then the impact of your project. If you have a compelling program, enhancement project, evidence-based, reasonable, the cost, the benefit to the families or your children, then you will receive up to 30 points for that. And the total possible points for your application is 100 points. The review committee will include individuals from the community who are not only knowledgeable about New Haven, but also the early childhood landscape. And funding recommendation, will be full, partial, or none. Right, and now we have questions. We will have office hours on next week. Again, Tuesday, November 14th. We'll have office hours that are virtual from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. and then again at 6:30 p.m. until 7:30 p.m. You do not need to attend both. You can pick the one that fits your schedule best. You can register for the office hours on our website. Again, that's uwgnh.org/ECE grants. If you scroll down, you can just click the link for our office hours and choose the one that works best for you. Some tips for our applications before we open it up for questions and answers. Please do not assume that reviewers know you or your program. We ask that you are as clear about this investment, about how this investment will enhance your programs and the quality of your program, include any research that you might have, include anything that will let us know why you want to do this, why you want to do this project now, who this project will benefit, and how it will reach the priority populations. And now I will, I'll leave this slide up in case someone wants to take a picture of it. My email address or my office line is there. If you have any questions, I would love for you to reach out and I'd be happy to answer those questions for you. I'd love to have you join our office hours as well.